tournament to crown the first ever Premier Tag Team Champion.
No, it is the most physically imposing tag team in this entire tournament. And as a duo, this is their premier debuts, but one of these athletes we are all too familiar with. They've been a
individuals that physically tower and impose their will over all others, and you're looking at them right now. Now you may go.
How would you describe a metahuman?
A metahuman being better than most. Hater of a lot of things, Duke Davis. A man that you don't want to cross in Duke Davis, or Ganon Jones Jr. for that matter. And I'll tell you, I'm just glad that I am not the first round opponent of these two individuals. Not that I'm in the tournament.
Well, we saw Ganon Jones Jr. and Duke Davis with a very longing eye toward the Premier Tag Team Championship when they came out, and Duke Davis making enemies already.
Well, he's going to hit that person so far. All three of their teeth that they have left are going to be gone.
Ganon Jones Jr., Pro Wrestling's All-Star. Duke Davis brought in to back up Ganon. Keep in mind the relationship with Chris LaRusso, who may be the premier champion by the end of the night. They've got that unstable Ron Mathis, who thankfully is not here with us this month, but this group keeps on gaining power, gaining strength, physically and literally and metaphorically, every way you can shape it. LaRusso and company just continue to grow, and their gripe continues as well. Hysteria comprised of proficient Sage Phillips. He's got book smarts. He's got wrestling smarts. He's a guy who can beat you with his mind. Cole Radrick, he doesn't really think a lot. He's a little bit erratic. He's a little bit impulsive. He's a little devil-may-care. Ratty dies in the end is one of his famous quotes and sayings on social media. So clearly he's not afraid of repercussions. He lives life to its fullest every single moment.
Well,
he's a weird dancer.
Well, they're weird dancing. They're a little bit eccentric. They're from Indiana, right? That's still a state?
Yes, Indiana exists very much.
Well, it shouldn't. But these two individuals are going against two guys I guarantee you they have never faced anybody like Ganon and Duke. You can't really game plan for them so much as you see, speaking of, the game plan written on Ganon Jones Jr.'s arm. Similar to a NFL quarterback, you'll see them have their playlist there. And oh, wait a minute.
Well, quarterback didn't have to worry about suicide dives, do they?
Well...
And Ganon and Duke try to toy with Sage and Cole, but do not count out the hysteria. They are outsized, outmatched. They're a couple of game welterweights. They'll be part of the iPay-Per-View October 22nd. Welterweight 2 on the Fight app. Ouch, if they make it that far.
Well, Sage and Cole can use their speed all they want, but they have to realize something, Joe. And you and I have talked about this before. As big and imposing as Ganon Jones Jr. is, he's just as fast, he's just as quick, and he can high fly. And Duke Davis, no slouch himself, can do that same thing. Duke Davis, the greatest vertical leap of any professional wrestler I have ever seen. Unbelievable when he gets going. And if Duke and Ganon do get going, I don't know if there's anybody in Premier that can stop him.
Duke's foot is almost the size of Sage's torso. Feels him across the ring. Good grief. Duke, what, about 6'6"?
Well, at least, like I said, two guys 6'5" if they're an inch, and certainly two guys that would love to add the Premier Championship Wrestling tag team titles to their already impressive streak. You know, you think of a lot of the great tag teams that have come down the pike in professional wrestling, and then you had big guys like the Road Warriors. You had guys that could really keep up speed like Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty, the Rockers, but you never had a team that could combine everything. It could really be a five-tool player, a jack of all trades, and that's what you have with Duke and Ganon right now.
How does their relationship with Chris LaRusso strengthen Locked and Loaded even further, beyond just what they bring physically?
Well, having a professional and a business and even a friendship relationship with Chris LaRusso, like Duke and Ganon, and you've mentioned it, I consider myself a close personal friend of Chris as well. It just adds to your repertoire. It adds to your skill. Sometimes he can see things with his experience that maybe Duke and Ganon haven't, because while they have been a tag team for a while, they're not as experienced as they may seem in that ring. So there are maybe a few things that may get thrown their way that they're not ready for, and that's where you have Chris LaRusso to back that up, and as eccentric and a little bit out there as he is, even Ron Mathis.
Eccentric, another way to describe Cole Radrick, too, who Ganon is mouthing off to. Radrick is helpless to help his buddy here. Just the receiving end of backbreaker after backbreaker. I can't get over how much Ganon and Duke dwarf Sage Phillips.
Well, they dwarf a lot of
people. Oh,
people.
and Ratty got it, too.
Well, they dwarf Sage, Rosemary, Basil, the whole spice cabinet, and that's what they're going to need, all of them. What kind of a name is Sage, anyway?
Who's Basil?
Sage is something you put in, like, a recipe or something.
Well, is it a recipe for tag team glory?
Well, if we're talking about Duke and Ganon...
Look at this sunset flip. Could Sage get Ganon over? Oh. Not the most proficient move of Sage Phillips' life. Oh, the enziguri worked!
Well, that's what he's got to do. He's got to make a tag. He doesn't have much time left in that time or energy bank, and Ganon's going to make sure that tag doesn't happen.
Sage was so close that time.
You know, are Sage, are they going to make it to the welterweight pay-per-view when they get...
Oh, God, what a mammoth leg drop.
Well, I think Duke just answered that. The answer is no.
Gosh. I've heard of luck of the draw, but this is about the furthest thing but for hysteria. And they're a great team. Let's not make any mistake about it. I mean, we've seen them both here a time or two before. We saw Sage in that four-way welterweight matchup at our anniversary, and we've seen Cole Radrick involved as well in similar matchups. Ratty told Duke to drop Sage, but I don't think he meant things like that way. Cover. Very cocky cover. My point is, though, Sage and Cole, they travel all over the country, Midwest, East Coast, down south. They've been pretty much everywhere. Sage is a student of the game. He attends seminars. He's driven from Indiana to Pennsylvania to attend a 3-day camp of one of our headliners tonight, Jonathan Gresham. Sage is a sponge for wrestling knowledge. But, man, how do you overcome the physicality? Sage looking for a way! Drops Duke with a lung blower, but Duke does not leave his feet. Here comes Ratty, here comes Ganon. And there goes Duke, look out. Duke still lands on his feet, but Radrick's trying to create some distance, trying to create a chance here. Oh, he got caught midair.
I was going to say, he's doing what you got to do. You got to stick and move when it comes to Duke and Ganon. You can't get too close, and they're giving him a chance to get wind. And
springboard cutter.
Well, Joe, like I said, they're doing what needs to be done.
They got a big man down, assisted powerbomb. Ratty used Sage as a weapon. And Duke interrupts the fall. Ouch.
Well, that's a good way to rearrange your bridge work there by Duke Davis.
And Sage to the floor. I believe Ganon and Cole Radrick are the legal men, but Cole Radrick is a man without an island here. Good grief, right to the side of the head.
And, well, now he's a man without a functional nose.
Oh, no. Duke with a powerbomb and Ganon. Gah! Forget about it.
So he could have counted to 1,000.
That was reminiscent of the impact of a severe car crash Cole Radrick just felt.
Well, somebody's going to have to call AAA or maybe even a spatula to scoop him, to flip him from the ring mat. And if I'm a betting man, I'm going to bet a lot of money on Locked and Loaded in this tournament.
I can't remember the last time a debuting tag team looked this dominant anywhere in professional wrestling.
Well, there's not too many tag teams that have been in professional wrestling like Duke and Ganon, and see what they're doing. That right there means they want the belts.
Duke and Ganon are going to move on to face Sonny DeFarge and Cornelius Crummels in the semifinal round. Ganon and Duke certainly predict victory. They feel this is something that's been deserved of them for many, many months. We've heard about Ganon's complaints of management, and Duke Davis seems right along the line of Chris LaRusso and Ganon Jones Jr. and Ron Mathis as well. Locked and loaded, their eyes locked on. The Premier Tag Team Championships could only be a matter of time.